You're listening to the Paranormal Peeps on the Darkcast Network. Come to the dark side of indie podcasts with the Darkcast Network.
We have cookies. Between the realm of the dead and the journeys of the living, join Josh, Jamie, and Elisa as they delve into the vast world of the paranormal and breathe life back into the history of the departed.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Jamie.
And I'm Elisa.
Hey, she's back for a second one in a row.
Woo! It's a record.
It's a Christmas miracle.
And it's not even Christmas.
We have got today a story that was sent in from a listener.
See, I wish more of our listeners would send in stories, like if they have them, right? And if they're willing to share. But I love it when someone sends us something and lets us share it.
Yeah.
Personal stories are so much better.
They're the best. They're absolutely the best.
Yeah, they are. This is a good one.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear it.
Okay, I'm going to read this verbatim and just understand that the first part's going to talk about a floor plan. I'm actually going to put that up on our social media when I post this episode, so you guys can check it out on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook.
All the above.
All of the above. Below is a floor plan of our old haunted farmhouse to help make sense of the things I will tell you. The basement stairs entrance is near my bedroom door. Attic stairs entrance is actually in the bathroom. The adjoining closet is a very important part of the story between my parents' room and my brother's room. My parents bought this house when I was a baby and we moved in. My parents were not aware of any paranormal activity at the time they bought the house. It did not take long for my parents to realize it, but they were realizing it separately. My dad worked midnights 4 nights a week. My mom worked days. They were often home alone besides the kids. They were both having experiences they could not explain, but it actually took a while for them to say something to each other because they didn't want the other to think they were crazy. Kind of common, isn't it?
I was going to say,
I get that.
Not uncommon.
Yeah, I get that.
So they both learned they were each having experiences, and it did not make them want to move out. They chose to live with it. In the beginning, the activity was playful and harmless. When I'm 2, my younger brother is born in the house. The paranormal activity grew over the years. It was not always playful. At times, it was dark, scary, and seemed evil.
Ugh.
So my parents understood it was probably more than one spirit. They invited a medium/sensitive in to see if they could learn anything. She picked up on 3 primary entities with the house. The one entity of a soul that was never born that lives in the attic.
Is that meaning like a demon?
We call that a type 3.
Yep.
Of the 3 primary entities, she said one was a pregnant woman by the name of Mary, a young boy by the name of David, about kindergarten age, and what she could only describe as an evil black entity by the name Keith. So that'd be the one that...
I was going to say, that's the upstairs.
Yeah.
That's the attic dude.
Yep.
Or thing.
He says it was unclear whether Keith murdered Mary and David, but the sensitive stated that what was clear was that Keith was keeping Mary and David held prisoner in that house and not allowing them to pass over. Which I think we've heard before, where type 3s will hold entities in a spot.
And I think it's more like, I mean, I don't know how this works, obviously, but in my mind, it would be more out of fear.
Sure.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Than saying, like, you physically cannot leave this place.
Right.
Some type of deep sense of fear.
Well, and we had that instance here where there was a woman and a little girl and they wanted to cross over. And they came here to our home seeking help, and Elisa helped us with that. But there was another, was it a type 3 or was it a type 2? I thought it was a 2. And he was not allowing them. He was trying to prevent them to leave.
And what was interesting is there was 2 of them, like me and someone else, picked up on this name.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I was probably around 4 or 5 years old when I first started seeing David. I found him sitting by a tree in the front yard, and we played for a little bit. Every time I went outside to play, I would look for him, but only found him outside a couple of times. One time I found him hiding under our living room couch, looking afraid, and I couldn't talk him out from under there. I told my mom, but when we got back to the couch, he was gone. I saw him and played with him a few other times in the house. David was the only entity I ever personally saw. My dad also saw David just once. He looked a lot like my brother. My dad had a rule that my brother had to wake him up when he got home from kindergarten. My dad woke up one day hearing cartoons and gets up to see my brother on the couch watching cartoons. My dad scolds him, John, you know you're supposed to wake me up when you get home. My dad goes to the bathroom, comes back, the TV's off, and he can't find my brother, and then sees the clock and realizes my brother isn't due home for another hour.
Ooh, creep factor.
Right?
Try going back to sleep after that.
No thanks.
Guessing he didn't. My mother only saw Mary, and she only saw her once, and she was the only one to ever see her. Mom woke up in the middle of the night one time to a pregnant woman standing at the foot of her bed. My mom sat up and yelled, Get the hell out of my house. And the woman disappeared before my mother's eyes. My mother would often just talk out loud to Mary sometimes. Didn't usually get a response, but Mary seemed to like her too. Me and my brother went outside to play and left the TV on, and my mom said aloud, I wish those kids would turn off the TV when they're done. And then the TV got turned off by an invisible force.
Aww. Cool. Mary was probably helping out.
Right? Helping take care of the house.
That's sweet.
My brother probably had it worse than any of us. He was tormented by Keith, the evil spirit, multiple nights a week. My brother could only describe it as the monster in the closet. Screams of terror coming from my brother's room in the middle of the night were very common. My parents tried everything, including monster spray.
Oh, yeah. Done that.
Just to make
Put
the
it in
kid.
a spray bottle and it's just water.
Yeah. Just to make the kid feel. Yeah.
My dad even told my brother one time that he killed the monster and now it's gone. Nothing stopped it. My dad got tired of it. Just walled up the closet door, and my brother didn't have a closet anymore. But it worked. My brother found peace, but my dad did not. After sealing off my brother's side, my dad started seeing it on his side of the closet.
Oh.
He told me it was about 6 feet tall, solid black mass, no facial features or structure, and a very uneasy feeling when you see it. My dad said he didn't know what was worse, laying facing it and having to see it, or turning away and feeling it look at you.
No, thank you.
Enter my teenage years.
No, thanks. I couldn't even imagine that.
Right?
Either way, that's a gross feeling,
yeah.
I'm sure.
My dad quickly became a believer in the monster in the closet. But that's not the worst my dad ever experienced. He was scared out of the house one day while home alone, and every door in the house was opening and slamming shut violently. My dad left in a hurry and went to my mom's work, parked next to her car, and slept in his car.
Well, what about the kids?
I was just thinking that.
Where are your children?
Oh, wait. If he worked nights and she worked during the day.
So the kids were at school.
At work. The kids are at school.
Yeah.
He needs to go to sleep.
There you go.
That would be so freaky.
The door thing I can attest is scary. Although I didn't see the doors opening and slamming, but I heard them and felt them downstairs.
When my mom got off, she asked him what he's doing. He explained to her what happened and said he's not going back home alone. Mary was a very playful prankster. Mary loved guests. She would play with them almost every time. We would have guests over and she would love to play with the lights and tap people on the shoulder. When she would play with the lights and guests would look scared, my mom would say, "All right, Mary, that's enough," and it would stop. My parents would hire a babysitter to watch us kids when they wanted to go out. We almost never had the same babysitter. None of them ever wanted to come back to the house a second time.
Pre-warned, disclaimer, our place is haunted.
Right?
We'll give you more money.
Here, sign this.
Sign this NDA. We had a chain lock on the basement door. Neither me or my brother could reach, so my dad knew it wasn't us kids. He liked to keep it locked. He often found it unlocked. He said it was almost became a game to see how many times he would have to lock it just in a single day. Other items began moving around our place was very common as well, among footsteps and random chatter.
This is a lot.
It's a lot. My brother and I heard whispers coming from one of the vents one time, and we could tell what it was saying. We reported to my mom. My mom seemed unimpressed and just said, "Well, then stay away from that vent."
Me and my brothers used to do that. We used to talk to each other through the vents. So that's awesome.
This is the part that I lose a lot of people on, but I'm reporting it the same way my mother reported it to me. One night, after me and my brother are in bed, my dad is at work, and my mom is the only one up. This is one of the nights she just randomly was talking out loud to Mary, and she tells Mary, "Mary, I know that you and your son are being kept here against your will. I want you to do whatever you have to free yourself from this house. Just don't take anybody else with you." 12 hours later, house caught fire and was deemed a total loss. Me and my brother were at school when it started, my mom at work, and my dad home asleep. A lot of people suspected my dad in the cause of the fire, since it was reported that he was sleeping on the dining room floor. I understand that it seems weird, but it was normal for my dad. My parents had a waterbed, and my dad had a severe back injury. Sleeping on a firm surface like the floor was better on his back. He slept on the floor often, and he still has serious back problems to this day and has been on disability for years. We tore their house down and filled in the old foundation. My parents built a new house in the backyard of the old house in 1994. There was never any paranormal activity in the new house. All of the entities were gone. I really wish I knew more about Mary and David. I wish I knew more about their lives, but I don't think I ever will. I still have nightmares about that house occasionally and the evil spirit occasionally.
Wow.
Do whatever it takes, and so she burns the house down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. His mom telling Mary and David to do what you have to do to get away from this house and don't take anybody with you. And then Keith is so mad, he burns the house down.
Yeah.
Dang. Just like when the dad sealed up his older brother's closet, Keith was mad. So then he's like, okay, fine.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Like, it could be that Keith got so mad that he burned the house down.
Yeah.
Or that was the only way for her
to get out.
To get away.
So she's the one who did it.
Yeah, to get away.
To get away.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I know, it's a crazy story.
Man, that's intense.
That is very intense. I mean, if you just get like a visual and put yourself.
I feel bad for his brother the most.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he was tortured quite a bit from the dark entity, but
I'm surprised they didn't believe him for all the stuff that they were dealing with in the house.
Yeah.
I think they believed him. I think what they were trying to do is just comfort him enough so that he would just...
They didn't want to add fuel to the fire. Like, parents do. They downplay it. Yeah. Here, I'll do this, and it'll...
like move the kid's room somewhere else. Like, pair him up with another kid, or...
Yeah, I don't know.
Have him sleep in your room if it's that scary. I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know. He has to see the...
Tough situation, I think.
There wasn't any place to go.
Okay, so yeah, they were limited.
It was a tiny house.
Well, I'm really glad that when they built the new one,
that it all
stopped.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a relief, because a lot of times you hear about these things and they just continue, especially when you're building something on the same lot or around
to the people versus
the property or the home.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So it's not a big house.
Makes total sense why they had to stay there, but
yeah.
So scary.
I know. But that got me, this story got me thinking. It's like, well,
wow.
If a ghost burned down this house, what's the chances of a ghost burning down another house? Like, are there any other cases out there of spirits burning down houses?
I'm sure you can find quite a few where they've started fires.
And I found one.
Well, okay. But before that, weren't there fires that broke out in the Sally house? Like, it never burnt it down, but
fires started.
But fires started, and they don't know how.
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but there was one story that I had read where, in fact, I've seen multiple over the years where they claim that the paranormal has started fires in homes, like little fires that broke out. And they may not have burnt down the house, but they definitely started fires.
Yep. So I got one more to go over.
Okay.
And this one isn't one fire.
It's multiple.
It's 200 fires.
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Who's counting?
This poor family, I guess.
You got like one of those clickers. One. You know.
So this one is about the Wiley Farm.
Okay.
So in August 14th, 1948, a barn burned to the ground on the farm of Charles Wiley, who lived outside of Malcolm, Illinois. Such an event would not seem to be much cause for alarm, except for the fact that the source of the fire has never truly been explained. Plus, it was just one of hundreds of fires that broke out on his property in the summer of 1948.
So this all happened in 1 year, like all 200 fires?
In one summer.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
The only person connected to each of these fires seems to be his niece, a teenager named Lynette, who may have been starting the fires with her mind.
Pyro.
Scary. That's like
Carrie.
Drew Barrymore and Firestarter.
I've never seen that movie.
I haven't either, but I've heard of it, and I know it's about a little girl who can start fires with her mind.
Or Sissy Spacek and Carrie.
Yeah, I was thinking Carrie.
Yeah.
Burns a whole town down.
I haven't seen that one either.
It's a good book.
Haven't?
I have not.
Oh, man. You gotta watch it.
Honestly, they deserve it for what they did to her, but yeah, it's a good book. Read the book, watch the movie for sure. Following her parents' bitter divorce, Lynette and her father moved to the Wiley Farm. Lynette was unhappy and disturbed, and emotions were running high that summer, which may have been the reason for the mysterious fires. They began on August 7th. At the time, the residents of the farm included Wiley, his wife, his brother-in-law, and Lynette's father, Arthur McNeil, and McNeil's two children, Arthur Jr., 8, and Lynette, who just turned 13. The first fire began not as a blaze, but as a small brown spot that appeared on the wallpaper in the living room of the Wiley farmhouse. The first spot was followed by another, and then another. The spots would appear and spread out several inches as they were smoldering, and then, when they became hot enough, the spots burst into flames.
What?
The brown spots occurred day after day, leaving the family confused and befuddled. Wiley called on several of his neighbors to investigate, but they were all mystified as he was. However, many of them stayed on the property, crowding into the house, even sleeping on the floor in an attempt to help watch over the situation. Pans and buckets were filled with water, placed all over the house, and each time one of these small fires broke out, it was quickly doused.
I mean, that's awfully neighborly of all of them to do that. That's kind of cool.
That is really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, the fires kept popping up in front of the startled witnesses. As word spread, friends and neighbors came to help, but could find no cause for them. Malcolm's fire chief, Fred Wilson, was just as confused as everyone else. In the days that followed, fires also appeared outside of the house on the front porch. Curtains were ignited in several of the rooms.
Oh, my word.
An ironing board burst into flames. A cloth that was lying on the bed burned so hot it turned into ash, but not the bed.
That's interesting.
Chief Wilson had never seen anything like it before. Charles Wiley contacted his insurance company, and the investigators were just as confused. Deputy State Fire Marshal John Bugard, also contacted by Chief Wilson, and he too came to the Wiley Farm. So they got everybody out there. He was also confused by the strange events. Nobody has ever heard of anything like this, he announced to the press, but I saw it with my own eyes. In the week that followed, more than 200 fires broke out at the house. On average, 20 a day.
Whoa.
That is nuts.
Absolutely nuts. Finally, on Saturday, August 14th, one of the blazes raged out of control, and before the Malcolm Fire Department could be summoned with trucks, the entire Wiley farmhouse was consumed. Charles,
at that point, you just kind of let it go.
Right?
I mean, just let it happen.
Yeah, because who can keep up with that many fires a day around the clock?
Yeah.
That'd drive you crazy.
So Charles Wiley did what he could do best, right, is to keep his family safe, or at least sheltered. So he drove posts in the ground and made a tent shelter for he and his wife, while McNeil and the children moved into the garage. The next day, while the Wileys were milking cows in the barnyard, the barn burst into flames and destroyed the building.
Oh, my.
2 days later, on Tuesday, several fires broke out on the walls of the milk house, which was being used as a kitchen and dining room for the family. On Thursday morning, there were 2 more fires, and a box that was filled with newspapers was found burning in the chicken house. A few minutes later, Mrs. Wiley opened a cupboard in the milk house and discovered more newspapers smoldering on the shelf inside. There had been no one else in the building, and the cabinet had not been opened. There was no logical reason for the newspapers to have caught fire. Later that day, at about 6 p.m., the farm's second barn caught fire. The blaze burned so hot that the entire building was destroyed in less than a half an hour.
Whoa.
That's nuts.
The firefighters who arrived on the scene were unable to get close to the inferno.
Well, yeah, when it's that dang hot.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Only 6 small outhouses remained on the farm, so the family escaped to a nearby vacant house. Regardless, the fires continued.
Did they continue at the house that they went to?
Yeah. The U.S. Air Force even got involved in the mystery.
Oh, jeez.
They suggested the fires could be caused by some sort of direct radiation, presumably from the Russians, but could offer no further assistance. Oh, the Russians, they're getting us now. I mean, and why would you pick that house of all places? Like
a farm?
A farmhouse in the middle of
just at random.
Yeah. By the end of the following week, the farm was swarming with spectators, curiosity seekers, official and self-appointed investigators, and reporters. Over 1,000 people came to the farm on August 22nd alone. Theorists and curiosity seekers posed their own theories and explanations. They ran the gamut from fly spray, which I don't know how...
What? Chemicals, flammable.
Yeah, to radio waves, underground gas pockets, flying saucers, and more.
Flying saucers?
Yep.
Laser beams.
It's sharks with laser beams.
It can go through cupboards.
Space sharks.
The authorities had a more down-to-earth explanation in mind. They suspected arson. They realized that they could not solve the riddle as to how the fires could appear before the eyes of reliable witnesses, but things were getting out of hand on the Wiley farm. An explanation needed to be discovered, and quickly. On August 30th, so we haven't even gone a month, by the way, if you figured this out.
Okay, wait, what year is this?
1948.
Okay.
So this has all happened within the month of August so far.
That's nuts.
The mystery was publicly announced, solved. The arsonist, according to the officials, was one at McNeil. The slight redhead red-haired niece of Charles Wiley. They claimed that she was starting the fires with kitchen matches when no one was looking, ignoring the witness reports of fires that sprang up from nowhere, including on the ceiling.
Where she couldn't even reach.
Apparently, this little girl possessed some pretty amazing skills, along with an amazingly endless supply of matches.
She had to have, what you figure, over 200 matches on her?
Right. And she was never witnessed holding a match. After hours of intense questioning, she allegedly confessed. She stated that she was unhappy, didn't like the farm, wanted to see her mother, and most telling, she didn't have any pretty clothes. The mystery was solved. This was in spite of the fact that witnesses to the fire had seen them appear on walls, floors, furniture, all when Wynette was not even in the room.
Oh, heaven.
But this explanation pleased the authorities, but not all of the reporters who were present seemed convinced. Hundreds of paranormal investigators who had examined the case over the years have not been reassured either. One columnist from the Peoria newspaper, who had covered the case from the beginning, stated quite frankly that he did not believe the so-called confession. Neither did noted researcher of the unexplained Vincent Gaddis, who wrote about the case. He was convinced that the case was a perfect example of poltergeist phenomena.
Phenomena.
Phenomenal.
So what really happened at the farm? Who knows, right?
I'm going with UFO.
I'm going with sharks with laser beams.
I'm going with Russians.
We're divided.
Yes, we are divided. We'll probably never know because the story just went away after that. Wynette was taken to Chicago for examination at the Illinois Juvenile Hospital, but was found to be mentally normal.
That poor thing.
She's a nice little kid caught in the middle of a broken home, Dr. Sophie Schroeder reported. She was later turned over to her grandmother and spent the rest of her teenage years untroubled by mysterious brown spots that appeared, spread, and burst into flames. The insurance company paid Wiley for the damage done to his home and the farm, and the farmhouse was later rebuilt. Arthur McNeil and his son moved back with the Wileys for a time before eventually moving out of state. Fire officials abandoned the case after the confession, cleared up the mystery for them, but privately, many of those involved continued to question what really occurred at the farm. The fire chief, Fred Wilson, talked about the case for quite some time, later retired from his position convinced that something unexplained had taken place. The reporters who descended on the Wiley Farm all received closure for their stories, whether they believed the conclusion or not, and the general public was given a solution that could not have possibly been the truth. Not surprisingly, the case is still listed as unexplained today.
Wow.
So one thing about the brown spots, right? One thing that would obviously cause those types of things to occur would be bad electrical wiring.
Of course.
The house had none, had no electricity.
Oh, well, rule that out.
See, and I was thinking, like, when you were first talking, I was like, oh, well, it's in the middle of the summer or, like, the peak of summer. Maybe it was the sun going through the window.
Yeah, like a magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass and creating these spots. Like, as the sun is moving, it's, like, doing different spots on the house.
Right.
But then if it's happening outside, and then it's happening at the barn, and then it's happening inside a cupboard.
It makes no sense. It doesn't fit.
Well, how about a piece of cloth on a bed
and just the cloth?
Yeah, just the cloth burns.
And it turns to ash.
Or, like, the ironing board, I'd be like, okay, well, if the iron's left on, but if there's no electricity, then they
got nothing.
Right? That's just a weird case.
It's very odd.
And it happened in 30 days.
And a lot of people saw it.
Yeah, many people saw it.
Many people witnessed it. I mean, you had the fire chief, the deputy fire marshal of the area, of
inspectors
the state.
From insurance, Air Force.
The Air Force.
They're all scratching their heads.
Well, the Air Force gave the reasonable explanation of microwaves from Russia.
I mean, back then, I'm sure some people really bought that. But why would they target some little podunk farm?
I don't know. It was
Maybe that was their test area.
Right.
Well, they did a lot of testing then.
It was the government. It was the Air Force themselves. They wanted the land.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It's such a strange story, though.
It is. I mean, it's intriguing because, I mean, you sit there and you kind of go over different scenarios in your head and you're like, no, this is why this don't work and this is why that don't work. And you're left with what? Not much.
Not much.
Yeah.
I mean, could she have been doing it with her mind? Could she have actually been starting the fires?
Here's the thing, though. When they asked her and they said she confessed to doing it.
Yeah.
Would she not have mentioned, I mean, would they not have questioned, like, how and why nobody in over, 200 fires started within a month, how nobody saw her when neighbors were sleeping on the floor with buckets of water all over, and so many witnesses just seen it happen just out of the blue when she was nowhere near that area? Would they not question that? And then in questioning that, would she not have said, well, I do it in my head. Would she not have said something? Or are they just sweeping that part under the rug?
That's the thing. They just wanted to find an explanation, and they're going with the easiest.
Oh, yeah.
And most vulnerable target, a little girl.
Yeah.
Who's unhappy because her parents got divorced, which obviously you're going to be unhappy at 13.
Of course.
Yeah, but are you really going to sit there with... Maybe she's a magician. Matches out of thin air and just flick it and light it up.
When she's not even in the room.
When she's not even in the room. See, she's a magician. That's it. I figured it out.
That's got to be it.
I was
solved.
It's probably just dark wizards.
Oh my. Strange.
If in doubt, blame dark wizards.
Strange.
It's just
strange.
It is very, very strange. So we just want to say thank you, everybody, for hanging out and listening to these two very interesting fire stories.
Fire.
And as always, stay ghosty, my peeps.
Are you drawn to the dark? Do you find yourself enticed in the forbidden and ominous? Join me, Steph, as I explore all things menacing and malevolent in my podcast, Sinister Story Hour. I discuss true stories of cults and crimes, with the occasional urban legend. I also dedicate episodes to missing persons in the United States. And you could be the missing link to provide information and clues that will help to bring them home. Join me every week for a new story. Come on in, sit down, and get ready, because it's story time.
Thank you for listening to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. You can find us on social media at Twitter at CPR Paranormal, on Facebook at Paranormal Peeps Podcast and Cold Spot Paranormal Research. And you can find us on Instagram at coldspot_paranormal_research.